And the A site up for grabs.
A lot of potential lying on this one. CT side needs all the extra they can get. Marcellus with the AWP will be able to overthrow Freiburg as he now speeds things up. Starts to push his way in towards the site. Dennis coming around as well, slowly approaching towards main. Marcellus creating the distraction. Molotov goes out. He knows there's a player behind Silo. It's so risky to go for the swing right now. Unfortunately, when he does decide to go for it, the timing is off. Forrest is hunting heads and will deliver a bullet straight between his eyes. Get right for the clutch against Dennis as well. That's another round for Dig now, Snods. Their T side is looking stacked.
That's a full eco as well we have to take into effect. My goodness, Apeks getting caught off guard by the squeaky rush. They smoked squeaky door, but they didn't anticipate the flashbang that blinded that player towards default site, which meant Gruss, when he wide swung, there was already a player coming out of hut ready to trade that frag that he got towards Squeaky. And with that, you know what happens. Dignitas in that 3 versus 2, they've been in that situation thousands of times. As this 4-man roster, now Houselock as well, they make it work. 9-4, as we are now into the 14th round, penultimate round here of our first half of the day in the Elisa Invitational.
Gruss has got himself a blue spruce. He's on top of hut. When it comes down to finding frags, it's big boy Marcellus that does the damage in the early round. Again with the AWP, this time playing over towards ramp. He's able to deny the opening push from Get Right and at least slow things down to buy time for the CT. There is a potential backstab from Forrest that could be pivotal in the late round if he's not found. Truth does take down Hauserk though. This is actually looking very nice for the CT side. It's not given any opportunity for the backstab to really develop much further. Now they start to reposition. They've linked up, Exist and Forrest. Together as a dynamic duo. Could be working into the awaiting jaws of the old auto shotty that's going to take its first victim. That's Exist down, Forrest to follow, and it's a 2K with the XM10 Snods. You love to see it.
Yeah, love to see it indeed. Oscar making the X10 famous on Nuke. He was one of the first players, well, basically the first player to bring it out on the new iteration of Nuke many years ago, and it is still very effective, close range if you are the hut player. You're playing from home, CT side of Nuke. So, round 15, Jack. Final round of the first half, and it's 9 for Dig and 5 for Apeks, as they did go for that aggressive push and crunch in towards lobby. Worked very well with the MP9s pushing through huts. Shotgun as well, as again, they get aggressive here, Jack, catching players in towards outside.
Yeah, it's all gone wrong. They've all been gunned down in a matter of seconds there. They have fallen short. 9-6 half isn't the worst thing at all. It looked like it was going to be a much worse affair for Apeks, so they can definitely start to come back for this. A monstrous early half, though, from Dignitas. They were just steamrolling the entire way. Looked so confident in a good majority of the aim fights they actually took. It was pretty scary, Snods.
Was indeed. But, pistol round now for Dig on their CT side. It's going to be the kit. An HE grenade coming out from Get Right. Interesting to see where that grenade's going to go. Is he going to be saving it for a rush towards ramp potentially and just lobbing it at their toes? Or is he going to be saving it for the retake? Let's see then. As fast already, push coming in towards the A site. As Forrest is down towards the CT vent here, anticipating a split towards B, but instead it's going to be Freiburg here. Top of the hut, can't even manage to get a kill as Hauserk finds one. Freiburg chiming in though with one himself. Get Right as well, the USP onto Truth. 2 versus 5.
Unfortunately, Hauserk actually did kill himself. He's broken his legs, which is it's never the ideal way to mount a retake if you're legless, and it hasn't helped him. They do get the leg up into the round overall, though, as Dignitas will still at least pick up that opening pistol. You might want to refresh your feed as well. I think you're a little bit behind. But
I know. Do you know what, Jack? I was just thinking that because as soon as I stopped talking, you mentioned someone dying to the fall damage. I didn't see it.
Give it a little refresh, mate.
Give it a little refresh.
Sort yourself right out, and then we'll crack on. Get Right though, looking to be able to crack onto this one. He is seeing the entire waterfall as everyone flies in front of him. What on earth?
Oh my god!
The Get Right merry-go-round. He witnessed, he waited, and he struck when the time is right. Oh, that is ridiculous.
If Just Exist survives, there won't be enough time. Right. It's one of those legendary moments. There we have it, round 18, 11-6. Dignitas are in the driving seats as they are looking sharp here to claim the victory as expected. So, AKs now coming out from the T side here on Apeks have refreshed the feed. I think I am still just a moment behind you, Jack, but let's see if I can try cast faster. Truth, sorry, excuse me. Grass for the first one to exist. As Get Right goes for the trade frag, does land it. 4 versus 4 here, Jack. As outside control in the hands of Dig.
Good way to open up the round. Ramp is now going to be the key point of contention. We do see Apeks slowly making their move towards it. Marcellus waiting, AK in hand to start to spray, but there's no real connection with it. Hauzerg makes quick work out of him. And this is where the round's going to start to get a little bit dire for the T's as well. They're outnumbered, but they're certainly not outgunned when it comes to Dennis swinging wildly, punishing with that AK. Response from the CTs is brilliant, and it's all left on Truth. One man in the dream. A 1 versus 3 clutch. Plays towards ramp. Takes down Hauzerg early on with the opening kill with the Kalashnikov. Now peeks back out. He knows they're on the bomb, but he's not wanting to risk the face. Hoping that they wouldn't go for the full stick, but they play for each other. Freiberg going for the swing. Forrest staying on the defuse. And Dignitas do pick up that retake.
Very well played there from Dig as they're going to make it 12 now. Bomb was planted, so Apeks do have the cash to work with. And now the difficult decision. Do you go for the force buy where 2 of the players can't afford full weaponry? And utility as well you have to take into effect as well. So they are going to be going for the conservative approach here. The ramp rush with the Tech 9s. Let's see what Exist can do. Finds 2 early on. Sprays down that 3rd player as well. Hauzerg here to help out his new teammate as Truth finds 1. That's all it's going to be. Dignitas make it 13-6, Jack, into the 20th round. But lots of cash now for Apeks to work with. They are going to be able to go for the full buy. Let's see what their first call is going to be.
And this is probably the right one to make. The position you're now in, obviously make full use of those timeouts, right? You want to try and slow it down, have a bit of a chat about it, and discuss where you can go from here. Because in reality, this is crunch time. Obviously, it's a best of 1 as well, Snots, right? And this is your opening best of 1 of the group. Only top 2 that do come out of this qualifier make it through as well. So everything is to play for. You can't really allow any mistakes, especially this early on into the event.
I think Apeks may be regretting their veto. I mean, when we look back at what they've banned, banning Inferno, banning Dust 2, banning Train as well. I mean, Train, I understand. It's the Dust 2 and the Inferno bans that are so confusing to me. Even though we saw that Dignitas are good in Inferno when they played it versus Fnatic, it's just tough. It's really, really tough. And to see the Dust 2 ban as well, maybe they were just expecting to be better players on Nuke. Maybe in practice, Nuke has been their best map so far. But Dignitas, we know that historically, these players from Boris, Exist, Freiberg, Geralt, they are so strong on this map. You have to factor in as well, you are playing with Dennis as a stand-in. Guaranteed he is a brilliant stand-in. So let him show that off on a Dust 2, on Inferno, where his individual skill can shine. Well, obviously, we don't have the insider info. Jack, we're just casting what we see with our 2 eyes.
Apeks, it's for a little bit of a cheeky play early on. They did go for the boost over the Skylight AWP in hand to see if they could try and pack a punch, but no early frags coming their way. That's going to be a bit of a Bogdan play for Dennis as well, giving him the AWP as he's already been knocked down to 19 HP, so hopefully that big green gun, give him a little bit more leeway. We can still find some impact into the round. They do set themselves up. It seems like we will be witnessing a burst towards the A site, but it's already so staggered. There is a trade from Truth at the very least. Freiberg could have completely dismantled the entire round, but he's fragged. He goes down to Marcellus. All of a sudden, it's on 1 man once again, Exist. He is backstabbing, but they're ready for it. There's a player that's going to wide swing towards Hut. That'll be Truth. And lands one right between the eyes. So Apeks still in it to win it at the minute.
Lyrical madness. 13-7. 1 round for Apeks here on their T side so far. In terms of cash, though, for the CT side, Dignitas, they can buy up Hauzerg with the AWP. And then the 4 M4s, as they are opting to go for no M4 A1Ss. Straight 30 bullets only. What are your thoughts, Jack, on the recent change? Are you a fan of the A1S or... Ooh, actually, hold that thought for a second, Jack. What's this boost?
Yeah, this is what they tried to go for last time. They were looking to get the early opening frag, right? Where you peek from Skylight and you can kill the player up there. But again, no one is going to show themselves. So twice, unfortunately, hasn't worked out. There's a player so close just on scaffold. I don't think he's going to peek into it, and they are going to give up beforehand. So it seems to be the classic play on a bit of a default they're going for now to see if they can get a nice opening frag. Obviously, if you do get it, then just go for a fast play on the A side.
Hauzerg playing towards ramp. And playing close towards heaven as well, a very important position to play as the CT AWPer. And it seems frivolous now to be AWPing outside, just with the smokes, the close proximity towards the secret stairs as well. It seems like it's more situational now. Much better to be AWPing towards heaven with the lack of the Kriegs that could just scope in and just, as you said earlier, laser beam you down from far away. But let's see then, Forest here in a brilliant position here, Jack. Can he hold the line?
Forest, they don't clear towards the angle. He will immediately be traded though, as Dennis, he doesn't mess around. His palms might be sweaty, but his knees are certainly strong. He will come through to take down. No, it doesn't really matter too much. Get Right got the trade. Obviously, they are vastly outnumbered now. It's just Truth that remains at a 1 versus 3. AK in hand, Snods. 19 seconds on the clock. Really has to make an impactful play if he's going to go for this one. But he staggers and goes down. Get Right will be able to remove him from the equation. It's now a 14-7. So Dignitas 7 rounds ahead. 1 away from at the very least an overtime. 2 from taking their opening group game here of the Invitational.
King Stella. And for Apeks as well, you just may actually have to just think, okay, is this just experience now for us? You know, you have Dennis as a stand-in. If you are Truth, if you're Apeks, Marcellus, etc., this is going to be an amazing qualifier for you to have such a high caliber player in your team to just learn from. Even if you die, I mean, Flusher said it best actually in an interview recently. I don't know how recent it was, but I watched it recently, where he said, you know, one of the best ways to learn and improve is to actually just watch people better than you in the server and was playing with better people. And that should be of aid to the, I'd say, inexperienced players on that tier 1, tier 2 level of Apeks. Coming into this qualifier as well, the highest ranked team actually is Godsent at 18th. So if there are teams like North, if your teams like Ents, if your teams like Heroic, you need to be getting those slots in for the showdown to prove how good you are in those world rankings. But yeah, it's going to be a 4 versus 2 in favor of Dignitas. Jack, it looks like they're going to be going to match point.
Imagine so. It'd have to be a miraculous clutch that would come through. Get Right's ready to try and deny that. There is a response. Still a bit of a spark in the Apeks boys. Hauzerk, however, as he lurks in the showers, being quite a naughty man, will peek out with the AWP and take down Gruss, and it's all left on Marcellus. He did have some impact with his AWP on the CT side when he was allowed to. Are they going to let him off the reins here? Sees the first player, Hauzerk, sprinting out towards Scaffold. He'll now be propped up against it. Forrest just spamming, making his presence known. Marcellus is in the 1v2, Snods. There is potential for a clutch. It's definitely doable.
Yeah.
He just needs to decide which firefight to take. Creeping in towards Hut, though, he might get spammed down by the MP9. Oh, it's the one bullet from the MP7. Straight to the noggin by Freiberg. And unfortunately for him, the clutch does